Welcoming everybody to a new post in the TFRP group with Avi Tenenbaum. This week we have a very important post about how long it takes to change. There's a lot of things in life that we may have been struggling with for years. It could be that we're stealing. It could be that we have an addiction. It could be that we need to be a better spouse, a better parent, a better sibling, a better child. And there may have been things we've been struggling with for years in a row. And we really need to change our behavior. So says the Gra in Evan Shleimah, the Gra, the Vilna Gaon, same person. Says the Vilna Gaon, when a person wants to change and make big changes in their life, they first need to understand what they need to change. That makes sense, right? So we're not going to talk a lot about that today, how you know what you need to change, but you got to sit down and figure out, what do I have to change? And he says, and once you pick the trait that needs to be changed, and you say, okay, well, now I need to do the opposite of that, right? Let's say I'm too cruel. Well, I need to have more mercy. I'm too angry. I need to be more patient. Okay, whatever it might be. The Gra says, now you need to start changing your behavior, but you can't just jump to the ideal person that you want to be. You need to work on this step by step, slowly, from one level to the next. And he says that once you reach your ideal level of where you feel you'd like to be in your behavior change, then try to stay there and practice being there over and over and over until it becomes second nature to be the ideal person that you want to be. And the Gra says, we may be really excited and inspired and exuberant, or maybe out of guilt, we're motivated to just jump all the way ahead to being who we want to be. I promise, for example, I promise I'm never going to look at pornography again. I'm never going to be angry at my wife again. I'm never going to do dishonest things in business again. Sounds wonderful, right? But these things take practice. We have to practice them one step at a time. And if we don't do that, the Gra says, we're going to wind up flat on our face, right back to where we started. That's how behavior change works, even with mitzvahs, even with very important things, life-changing things. We have to change things one step at a time. That's just how God made us, and that's okay. So the Alter of Novardok, in the second thing we sent from the Sefer Madregas HaAdam, he says something that seems to contradict this. He says that people that want to change, and they think they can just change one thing at a time, he says that's like a person who wants to kasher their kitchen. And instead of koshering all of their dishes and pots and pans and forks and knives all at once, they kosher one fork a day, one pot a day. And so everything just keeps on getting treif. And it doesn't work that way. You got to change everything at once. And that sounds like the opposite of what we just said from the Vilna Gaon. But it's really not the opposite, because if you look at the final thing we sent, Reb Tzadok haKohein of Lublin explains that when you start to really make major changes, sometimes you do have to jump. There is a place for jumping. Let's say a person is they're suffering in a dangerous relationship with somebody that's abusing them. Maybe you got to jump. Maybe you need guidance and chizik and some sort of plan, and you got to go to a shelter. You got to take care of yourself. Maybe you got to throw out of all the drugs that are in your house. Just get rid of all of them today. Okay, so there are big changes, sometimes drastic things that we do in the beginning, just to help us start the process of changing. But then once we get on the path of changing, then we take it one tiny step at a time. That's how it works, and that's how we're going to be successful. Wishing everybody a beautiful week and lots of success in changing what we have to.